All right, we are live now. How you doing, Charles?
What's up? Doing
How you
really
doing,
well.
Adrian? All right, so we heard
What's
you
up,
got some
guys? How's it
information
going?
for us, brother.
Yes, I do. So, in the past couple of weeks, I've spoken with reps from Top Rank, from PBC, from Golden Boy, and from Matchroom. So that's basically the four most powerful promotional outfits entities in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was told, even prior to the latest shenanigans with the purse bid with Tyson Fury and Dillian White and all the feedback and all this type of stuff. Top Rank wants to take over boxing. And Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, and Dillian White just dodged a bullet because Tyson Fury, who really is not that eager to fight any of these guys,
Mm-hmm.
as he's kind of told the world, he's already looking at MMA and other type of showcase fights.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson Fury, if they would have gone through with that side money to Anthony Joshua and Dillian White, Tyson Fury had no interest in fighting either one after that. He would have fought Alexander Usyk, and if he would have won like they expected him to win, he would then either do showcase fights and or retire.
Mm.
Maybe a
So
potential Francis Ngannou fight.
possibly, or some other type of circus show. So that's bullet number one and two that pretty much Matchroom dodged. Now the other things I was told in reference to Top Rank, and this is no offense, and I'm not biased against PBC, but they do look at PBC as a stepchild, and they feel their fighters are inferior, and they basically feel PBC is going to, for lack of a better phrase, especially during Black History Month, hang itself.
Mm.
So they don't really have any interest anymore. And you can pay close attention to this throughout 2022. They have no interest in denigrating, disrespecting, or talking down about PBC. They will not do that for the rest of the year. And if they do, I want to be called out on it because I'm putting it out there. Top Rank has sought out who their competition is and who they want to get rid of, and that's Matchroom and DAZN. That's who they're going against.
Okay.
They do not believe PBC is going to make it. They think PBC fighters are not on the same level. They think they're basically just stuck in a box, an assembly line, fighting each other. They're going to take advantage of the Terrence Crawford situation and basically say, I told you so. Yeah, he can't make any money. So they're going to ride that, and let PBC guys fight each other. I'm telling you right now, I know you believe otherwise. Keith Thurman is not going to fight Terrence Crawford. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. So, and obviously the other biggest power broker in boxing as a fighter is Mr. Saul Alvarez. So they're saying that he's pretty much trying the same formula. His number one target proposed fight is Charlo next, which is why Top Rank is looking at unifying the belts at 175 to hopefully entice Alvarez over Eddie Hearn and Matchroom with Bivol
Better be.
uh, and a third fight with Triple G. So they know that Canelo is kind of iffy with fighting Triple G a third time. He wants a reason to not have to fight him. So Top Rank they're rejuvenated for whatever reason. They're fired up because of the lawsuit that Terrence Crawford filed. They're offended by it. a lot of people who work within Top Rank do not like Terrence Crawford as a person for different reasons. They thought he wasn't, let's say, cooperative in a lot of the promotions. They don't really like his personality, a lot of different things. So it's personal for a lot of people affiliated with Top Rank in reference to Terrence Crawford. With that being said, let me just say this last part. With all that being said, because I do not want to be misconstrued, they will 100% promote if if it's good for them another Terrence Crawford fight. They're not against promoting Crawford versus Taylor or Crawford versus somebody else. But as of now, they're going to let him do what he has to do and basically act like he's non-existent. So,
Could I mention something real fast?
absolutely.
Have you read the AB tweets where he's basically saying PBC is, making references towards PBC basically being broke?
Yeah, I've heard, I know I haven't heard him say that. I've heard other people say it.
Yeah.
And I mean, people said DAZN is broke. I don't believe that PBC is broke. I just feel they have a broken business model. And I mean, Al Heyman has waved that carrot and told Broner, has told Thurman, has told Spence Jr. they would be the next Floyd Mayweather. And obviously,
Yeah.
if you look at how much they're being paid, forget the accomplishments. I
They're
mean, they're
losing
not
money on
making,
these shows.
yeah, they can't make his
Big time.
enough money to pay his taxes. So,
Yeah.
like, just the model, it's not sustainable. The PBC model is not sustainable. They
Yeah.
built
They
up,
lost millions this weekend, I believe, with the Thurman fight. They had to have lost.
yeah.
At least
I
Well,
mean,
in my
we don't know
opinion,
any
definitely.
we don't know any numbers on the Thurman fight yet.
Yeah, but
and
there's
I
no
doubt,
fight sold over 100,000.
yeah, yeah.
You,
I
you can
don't
look
think
on
the
camera and
numbers.
tell
I don't
them.
think they're going to release the numbers.
No, it's gonna be like the Tank numbers, under 100,000. Wink, wink, wink.
Yes,
Man.
and just to let me put a button on this Top Rank PBC phenomenon. If you look at PBC's top fighters of the last, whenever it started, when PBC started, Deontay Wilder, Errol Spence Jr., Keith Thurman, Adrian Broner, in terms of generating revenue. If you look at those guys, besides Adrian Broner, the other three have pretty much been protected. Now, Errol Spence protected more recently than previously. So that's basically what they're looking at. Now, if you look at Top Ranks, guys, before Terrence Crawford, Vasily Lomachenko, Tyson Fury, now Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, they're willing to put those guys in with anybody with no hesitation. They're and that's the difference. It's I'm not a fan of any promoter, any matchmaker, any entity like that. You know, I follow boxing. I
I,
root
I,
for all
I
these
mean, they
guys to
say that
succeed.
they'll do that shit a lot, but they don't necessarily, you know what I'm saying. When it comes down to it, they necessarily don't follow through. You
With
know what I'm
who
saying?
doesn't?
They say that all, and really all promoters do that. They
Well,
all, we all.
reset that. Reset that.
I said, they do a lot of saying that they'll do some stuff, you know, but all promoters do that. They say that they'll throw these guys in there with everybody and everything, but in actuality, when the contracts get sent, they don't, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about it. All of these promoters do that, PBC and Top Rank. You know what I'm saying? Neither one of them is really exempt to any of the things that you're saying. They both do pretty much the same shit. You know what I'm saying? They keep their guys in-house. They try to, you know what I'm saying? They try to run their side of the street until they can't run it no more. And then, you know, they try to make a super fight. And if the super fight's not what they wanted to get, then they just don't make it happen. And they, you know, they don't care about the fans. You know what I'm saying? They only care about the money. And as
The
far as
difference.
people,
Okay, can I let me? I'm glad you said they only care about the money
yeah.
because that's the point. The difference between PBC, and everyone else, so this is not exclusive to Top Rank. The difference between PBC, everyone else will take the money. PBC is the only outfit that if Charlo gets offered a career high payday, if Wilder gets offered undisputed opportunity, career high payday, if Spence Jr. gets offered career high payday, if Tank gets offered career high payday, they more often than not say no. That's the difference.
Who's done that though?
Well,
I just named
Charlo turned down $7 million versus Demetrius Andrade to go fight on his own. Wilder did turn down fight. Was it Klitschko?
But this goes back into what I'm telling you, man. That these guys are it's all contract.
Yeah, but what he's saying is a top rank will work with other promoters if the money is right. PBC guys will turn down career ultimate high paydays, is what he's saying. Like, yes. I'm not picking a side, but I see what he is saying right now. Like Charlo has never been paid $7 million, but you turned down a unification career high payday. Wilder turned down unifying with Klitschko. Was it Tank Davis was offered $7 million to fight Tevin Farmer, a fight that most majority feel he would have beat Tevin Farmer, but since he would have to go to his own, it was a no-go.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying.
Yes, but PBC is not tied to a network, though. These fighters are not signed to PBC. They're signed to Al Heyman. When you get what I'm saying, they don't have no contracts with Fox Sports or anything like that. So they're free agents to fight on other networks.
That's what it's saying. But in actuality, it kind of is. It's kind of whether it's on paper or it's not. It's an unspoken thing. It's like that's why they won't cut these guys loose in order to make these deals. You know what I'm saying? Because they like somebody's going to get left out. You know what I'm saying? That's why they want to.
Yes,
that's why
but
the only way this fight, the Spence fight and the Bud fight is going to ever get done is if it's 50-50. Because both other sides, both of the networks, both of the networks that they're tied to, with the zip mouth, they both got to get paid too. They're not
Crawford's not tied to
that's if you consider these guys are honest and like really want to make these fights happen, which. It's not the case. I mean, Terrence Crawford.
It's the guys behind the scenes that don't want to make the fights happen.
Let me ask you a question, though, bro, to what he was saying. If Terrence Crawford was offered $7 million to go fight on PBC, Top Rank would have made that fight. If the money is right, Top Rank and DAZN fighters are willing to fight on any network. I see what he's saying. PBC fighters are the only guys who turn. We're not talking about small paydays. We're talking about career, triple the time of their $1 million, $2 million paydays. It's true. PBC is the only network fighters that are not willing to cooperate. You know what I mean? So I see what he's saying. I'm not picking a side.
Yeah, I feel what he's saying too. I get
what he's saying though. Okay.
But I'm just saying that it's just like it's just part of that's just the game, and it's like you know what I mean. Them guys are they're tied in. Whether they want to.
It's a game that they don't play fairly.
But
they don't.
Here's the thing.
And it's like they want to keep all their money in house as much as possible. In-house.
How do you pronounce the name? D-Mon?
And that's why they have no superstars.
D Munford.
Okay. D-Mon. Here's the thing with that. The difference is all these other fighters, whether they're with Golden Boy, Matchroom, Top Rank, whomever, they're not trying to build networks. PBC fighters are the only ones that will say publicly,
yeah,
we're trying to build. When it was Fox, when they thought they were going to get the gravy train from Fox and fight on free, we're building free boxing for all. We're going to be fighting on Fox, regular TV. There, no other fighters talk like that. So my point is, they feel they have something invested in being loyal to whomever
the network
Al Heyman works with. But whoever Al Heyman works with, they feel they need to be loyal to that. You don't hear other boxers. Tyson Fury says a bunch of crazy things and a bunch of different things. You've never heard him say, I'm loyal to a network. He's not telling people to support a network. I've heard Deontay Wilder talk about supporting a network often, very often.
You absolutely hit the nail on the head. That's their, like you said, that's their business model that's broken.
Yeah,
that's the business model that's broken. Like, you know what I'm saying? They shouldn't be tied into no networks. They should be trying to make these things happen. But the thing about it is, it's just, and it's almost, I hate to say it, it's almost like a black thing. It's a black thing. Niggas like to be loyal to the motherfuckers who got them the money, so they gonna do whatever it is. Like Floyd. Just you notice everybody says the same speech that Floyd said when he was fighting after the fight. I want to thank Al Heyman. I want to thank Showtime. I want to thank I want to thank Then they say whatever else they're gonna say. You see what I'm saying?
So PBC is like a cult. You're saying they're a cult.
But
Pretty much.
Yes, but
It
what
is.
Al Heyman did for Floyd Mayweather cannot be compared to
Allegedly.
what he's doing for. I mean, if you pull all the money together, Errol Spence Jr., Keith Thurman, Adrian Broner, who else? You can throw in whoever you want to throw in.
Mm-hmm.
Throw them all in there. Tank, Wilder.
They can't even touch it.
If they add all of their money together, so they had to buy in to participating in an assembly line, and the assembly line added up. If they had their entire roster doesn't make as much as what Floyd Mayweather Jr. was making.
I know it.
So that, I mean, who are you going to blame for that? I mean, some of them saw the light. Daniel Jacobs at least said, okay, wait a second. I want to negotiate, separately from this. I don't want to be a part of this. He stuck with Al Heyman.
Right, I was about to say he stuck with Al Heyman though. You understand the key word in that is that he stuck with Al, and they're starting to kind of do that now, and I think that's going to be the new business model, and really the new business model for all of these new boxers. I don't understand why any of them are going to a network. I don't understand it. If I'm them, I'm following. If I'm a young fighter, I might take a couple fight deal with somebody, but I'm not signing to nobody all the way, because I've seen what guys like Mikey Garcia. To me, those guys and Devin Haney, those guys have kind of like changed the game to me. You know what I'm saying? That they changed the business model to me.
A lot of these fighters,
to me now, if I'm a fighter, I'm being neutral.
But Devin Haney, when you turn pro,
I mean, Devin Haney's fighting
when you
on his
turn
own.
pro,
yeah, right now he is, but he had the option to go wherever he wanted. You know what I'm saying? And he chose to go over there. You know what I'm saying? And so and when that contract is done, he'll be able to go wherever he wants again. What
are you saying, Adrian? I can hear what you're saying.
A lot of the promoters, like when you turn pro, typically the promoters, if you're like a decent to good prospect, they'll give you like a 12-fight deal.
Right.
And then at that point, they usually it's 4 fights a year for most pros turning.
Yeah.
So you have to sign with a promoter. Like I think the other day, the debate we had was like, oh, Crawford's just gonna stay a free agent. It's like, what do you mean free agent? What promoter's gonna give him a fight? Like, why would you're not gonna want your guys to fight a free agent because you have no tie to them, especially if you're gonna most likely lose to them. If it's someone you're gonna beat, yeah, bring him in. Who cares? So unfortunately, you need to be signed to one of these major promotions to get a chance or to fight one of these belts.
Hold on, D. And I was gonna say this, that also the difference with Floyd's situation with Al Heyman and them is he actually had an exclusive deal with Showtime.
Right.
So that's a big difference. Wilder, Spence, Tank, they have no exclusive ties to Fox.
But who does?
Or Showtime. That's what I'm telling you, though.
But what I'm saying is
Terrence Crawford had an exclusive deal with Top Rank and ESPN. That's the difference, is what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, you're right. It's absolutely right.
So that's the difference. In a sense, PBC fighters are a little bit more free. We call them PBC fighters because they fight on PBC, but they're technically free agents to fight on any platform.
Right.
If Bud goes and fights on a different platform, he has to pay Top Rank a percentage of that purse. If Tank comes to the zone, he does not have to pay anybody a percentage. That's between him and Al Heyman. You get what I'm saying? There's no network.
But you know that he's giving Al a percentage of that, right?
That's not our business though. Contractually, right. He's not signed. Is what I'm saying.
But you just got to know that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the same thing as it being unwritten as it being written. You know what I'm saying? You know that if he goes over there, if Al Heyman,
but I cannot hold a guy. I cannot hold a guy who is not legally signed to the same standards a guy who is legally bounded somewhere.
Bro,
they're not legally bounded.
Let's not act like you don't know.
I understand, bro, but you got to also understand.
That's like acting like you don't know that he's a promoter and he's really just a manager and he's just an advisor.
Allegedly.
You know what I'm saying? Like
allegedly.
D, I think you got to go back to what Adrian said at the very beginning. PBC has been losing money. So when you say this is how the game is run, are you saying that's how the game is to lose money? Because that's what they've been doing is losing money. Now they have more money to lose because Al Heyman is great at finding investors, and he'll find another investor. But that isn't really the way the game of boxing has been run. It wasn't the way Mayweather handled business. It wasn't the way De La Hoya handled business when he was the face of boxing. It wasn't the way Don King, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. So this is different for
Yeah.
boxing. To put,
And they're waiting for that one guy. They waiting for that one guy to step
but
up.
that's what I'm saying. They're not doing it. They created an assembly line where it's about a group of boxers. It's not about one boxer,
Right.
because their structure is not set up that way.
And that's because they couldn't produce. You know what I'm saying? You can't produce, so we got to do something. So everybody eats. It's fucked up. It's stupid. It's dumb to me. But at the same time though, you know, them guys are. It's up to them to promote themselves, and that's why these guys act like. I don't know why these guys act like suckers and they don't want to make fights happen. You know what I'm saying? Because you act like you want to make so much money. You act like you want to make Floyd money. You guys aren't even touching aren't even on the game scale. And y'all are sitting up here crying about how much money you're going to get paid. You know what I'm saying? And y'all scared to fight the competition. I hate that, you know?
But that's not everybody. That's the thing. Do you think Shakur Stevenson is scared to fight anybody?
No, but I know plenty of people that's scared to fight him, though.
Okay, but do you think he's scared? He's not scared, right?
No.
Do you think Alexander is scared to fight anybody?
Oscar Valdez is scared, you know?
Okay. Well, they're fighting on April 30th.
Yeah, he trying everything he can. Don't be surprised if he pop up with an injury.
They're fighting.
And they have to get a
April
substitute.
30th. Are you coming to the fight?
Where is it gonna be at?
Do you need me to send you an airline ticket?
You can.
It's gonna be in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah, you can, and I will be there.
It's gonna be in Las Vegas, Nevada. I will be there in the first 3 rows. Okay.
Oh man.
I will not be representing Intelligent Boxing. I won't be doing any media work. I will be there with the all beef hot dogs, some peanuts, an Amstel Light, and I'll be enjoying some boxing. And they can tell me what happened at Madison Square Garden. No offense to the ladies. I hope it's a great show. But I will be at Stevenson Valdez. And Valdez is, I told you guys last time I was on here, Valdez is not scared to fight anybody. Valdez is not coming there to lay down. You're going to see. You can laugh all you want.
He's gonna be juiced up on that. He's gonna be juiced up on them steaks.
He's not going to be juiced up on anything, man. Oscar Valdez
juiced up on them steaks.
Can fight. Oscar Valdez can fight, man. You're going to see, man.
I'm an Oscar Valdez fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm telling you? Oscar Valdez is my guy. But I'm telling you right now, he's been afraid to fight.
Okay,
Charles.
To D's point.
Yeah.
Why did it take so long for Oscar to finally fight Shakur when Shakur was his mandatory at 126? So we've had multiple opportunities to make this fight. So you have to understand when the fans say it looks like Oscar is scared, he's kind of showed us like he's not in no rush to fight Shakur Stevenson.
Well, I mean, he struggled to make 126. He moved up to 130. I can tell you, I don't think Top Rank was too enthused of putting Valdez in with Shakur. But we got to separate the fighter from the promoter. We can't, everybody has an individual case. And all I'm saying is Oscar Valdez himself is not ducking anybody. He doesn't want to take PDs. He never tried to take PDs. He's against PDs. And let me put this out there too, because I think there's a lot of naivete compared to Canelo and Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez wants to be tested year round. We can count on our hands how many champions want to be tested year round. Canelo Alvarez has never agreed to year-round testing. It is a big difference. So, you can use some PDs or enhancements while you're training, and then once you sign your next fight, you can stop it, which I'm saying Canelo Alvarez does. I'm not hesitating. I'm not debating that subject. I'm saying he uses PEDs, especially when he's not training for his next fight. Oscar Valdez is against PEDs. But all that we'll see what happens on April 30th. I think Shakur is going to win, but I'm just saying it's not going to be any walkover. This isn't Mayweather Gotti. It ain't anything like Mayweather Gotti.
It might look
It's gonna
like
be
it
an ass
though.
whooping though. It's gonna be
It's
an ass
not going to
whooping.
look like Mayweather Gotti.
It's
It
gonna look
might.
like an ass whooping.
It is not. Let's just enjoy the fight. Let's just be happy. They're
8
unifying.
rounds to 4.
Say that again.
8 rounds to 4 is how I'm calling it right
Okay.
now. Is what
Something
I
like
give it.
that.
Wow. You're giving Shakur. Okay.
I'm giving him 4 rounds because I'm giving Oscar Valdez is an aggressive fighter. He's going to look good early. Shakur's going to have to take a few rounds to figure him out.
Shakur don't get hit, man.
He does, but he will get hit by Oscar Valdez
No,
early
he
in the
won't,
fight.
bro.
Early in the fight, he's going to get hit.
I don't want to get too carried away on this topic, but I got Shakur might stop him late. And everybody call me crazy for saying that, but I think Shakur might stop
He
Oscar late.
could. He might.
He going to lump him up real bad.
If it does go to
Lump him up.
decision, I wouldn't. Me personally, I don't want to get too lost in the topic, but Oscar versus Shakur, if it does go to decision, I don't think he wins more than 2 rounds. I think Shakur is just too superior of a boxer, bro. It might be
I
competitive
want to see him
moments.
move up.
You want to see
Like I
him move
said,
up.
he only going to look good for the first couple rounds. And then it's over.
Shakur just moved up.
It's going to
Yeah,
look
I
like a
wanna see him at
sparring
130.
match against
He's gonna
me
move up
against
again.
me against Roy.
Yeah, I know. He is going to move up. I just don't think the fans should put he needs to move up because he literally just moved up from 126.
No, I know, but 130, there's better fights for him, I think.
35, yeah.
35.
35. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Well,
And then
I don't
with
think.
the goal to go to 147. Since everyone's
Well,
going to 147.
To that point about fighters who wants to fight and who doesn't, who's being protected, we'll see at 135 who wants to fight Shakur. I can tell you right now who doesn't want to fight him.
Tank.
Tank doesn't want to fight him. Keep going. There's more on the list.
Shit.
What division?
At
35?
135. I only know one guy at 135 that is willing to fight Shakur.
Who?
Who's
Devin?
That's a name.
Devin Haney?
Lomachenko.
Oh,
Lomachenko.
Lomachenko will fight him at 135. He will definitely fight him at 135. I mean, that literally could be the next fight if they want it to be.
I think that's the fight we're going to get at the end of the year. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
If Cam and Loma do fight, which I think Cam and Loma is going to be the next fight, in my opinion. I think Shakur is going to move up and they're going to go ahead and make that big fight.
Man, I think they're gonna stay away from that.
I don't think so, bro. I think Bob is. He wants to make big fights. I feel like. I think he's old, bro. I think he wants to make those fights. Loma has only proven that he wants big fights. You can't deny that Loma has big fights, and Loma is getting older.
If they make that fight, it's got to be like overseas somewhere.
Loma versus Shakur?
Yeah.
Nah, it'll be in New York, I think.
Yeah. Why would they go overseas?
Why not, nigga? He ain't selling out. He can't sell out a high school gym.
Who can't?
Shakur Stevenson.
If Shakur fights Lomachenko,
Loma can't fight overseas. He can't fight in Europe.
He can't.
There's no Lithuania, Ukraine. I'm sorry, Ukraine. They're having some serious issues over there right now.
They could sell out Madison Square Garden.
I think after Shakur's defending on Shakur's performance versus Oscar, I think that's going to be a big because everybody's going to see that. All the Mexican fans, everybody's going to be tuned in to see if it goes out there and say he does have a Floyd Gotti performance. Let's say that happens, right? Shakur's going to blow up. People are going to tune in, bro. They're going to want to see that.
He's not going to knock him out like Gotti, but he's going to be pretty lumped up.
But I'm saying it depends on Shakur's performance. If he has a great performance,
Oscar got heart, man. This motherfucker get his
small,
teeth knocked out and swallow him, and then have to, you know what I'm saying?
Oscar's a warrior. I
don't
doubt that. Oscar is a warrior. So was Gotti, though.
Like somebody had to throw in the towel type shit. Like he gonna keep going.
So I assume you have Lomachenko against Kambosos.
Me personally, yes, sir.
Okay. So if Lomachenko wins, if Shakur wins and stops Valdez, Lomachenko, Shakur, Madison Square Garden.
I'll be in New York.
Yeah, that they would sell out, and that would be a big fight.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
I don't know what Kambosos is going to do. So, I mean,
I guess that was the next question we did have.
Kambosos is going to look better than what people think. You know what I'm saying? He's putting in a lot of work.
Kambosos versus Haney, Charles. What you think? What do you think about that situation right now?
I think that Haney is kind of delusional in reference to in reference
No, I
to
agree. I agree. I agree.
in reference to Kambosos needing to fight him. I mean, there Devin Haney, and correct me if I'm saying something that's not true. Devin Haney has never fought a champion before. Ever.
Former or current?
Current champion.
No, current. No.
Okay.
Former was JoJo Diaz. Yeah.
So he's never fought a current champion, never sold out an arena, never sold a pay-per-view, never been ranked in anybody's pound for pound list. And he's going to basically demand a fight. I don't see that. It doesn't even make sense to me. Now, if he gets the fight, great, more power to him. He has a great chance of winning if he gets the fight. But I just think they're going about it the wrong way, especially since Mauricio Sulaiman said George Kambosos is the undisputed champion. So, I mean, if that's the head of the WBC saying that Kambosos is undisputed, so Devin Haney needs to respect that. Now, I mean, I like the fact that Eddie Hearn is trying to make that fight. And if he didn't have Eddie Hearn trying to make that fight, this wouldn't even be a conversation.
I agree.
Really, that's all he has going for him is Eddie Hearn and Lou DiBella work well together. Lou DiBella is very open for this fight being on DAZN. So, I mean, that's really all he has going for him. But other than that, I mean, the only reason, if I was Kambosos, the only reason I would fight Haney instead of Lomachenko is because Lomachenko is probably a tougher out for Kambosos.
My opinion, I think because Kambosos keeps coming out saying like basically Haney is like making it difficult, but you got Lomachenko to the side saying, "Hey, I'm ready." Like it's making it pretty simple. I think Cam would prefer to fight Haney in Australia because I think Haney and Lomachenko can beat Cam.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that Haney can stop Cam. And I feel, just my honest opinion, with the way politics and boxing go, especially overseas, especially in Australia, I feel Cam has a very, very good chance at winning a close fight by split decision over Haney, a fight that many of us probably would feel, hey, Haney won that, but I feel it's a safer fight for him. I don't think Lomachenko is a safe fight at all. I think Lomachenko is firing at all cylinders right now. I think that he would stop Cam. And that's just my honest opinion. And Cam is a good fighter. He showed us a lot of great things versus Tio. Tio did have a lot of his own issues going on, but we're not going to make any excuses. But Cam showed us he's a good fighter. I just think Lomachenko is a terrible matchup for him. I don't think Lomachenko and him go 12. I think Cam knows Lomachenko is a bad matchup. I think he respects Lomachenko's power and style a little bit more than Haney's. You know, I think he's called Haney very boring and stuff. So, but it seems like Haney doesn't care to go to Australia, and I think that's the biggest holdup.
When you say you think Cam knows he's a bad matchup, I mean, he is willing to fight Lomachenko, though. He
is. I just feel he feels Haney is the safer matchup compared to Lomachenko. You got two options. I feel like he feels Haney might be a little bit safer matchup. You know, I think he knows Lomachenko is Lomachenko.
Can I make a comment? I find it weird that Haney is very inconsistent in what he's been saying lately. He's been saying he's thinking about moving up. He's been saying, you know, I'll go over there. I'll fight him in Australia. He's been saying a lot of things that just, you know, I'm not saying he's avoiding the fight. Because even for him, if I'm Haney, I would fight Kambosos over Loma, you know? So I think at some point he's got to face one of these top guys. And I think Kambosos is probably that's probably the easiest, best fighter he could face. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's turning off. I think him and his father are turning Kambosos off, though. And I mean, now you got another wild card. I know you guys aren't too high on Ryan Garcia right now, but he's got his fight, you know, signed for April. And if he gets by that fight, that would be a big fight, Kambosos and Ryan Garcia in September.
Yes, big time. I agree. I think that's the biggest fight for him.
I agree, money wise.
Yeah.
I agree for sure. I mean, that's crazy though. That would be crazy, but I agree though. I didn't think so at first until I seen the way Kambosos was interacting with Ryan. I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
he might be interested in fighting him. I don't really care for Ryan's next fight. I thought he should have fought Tevin Farmer. You know, you got a couple. Cruz says he never got the offer like they tweeted. So I think Ryan's a good fighter. So when you say I'm not big on him, I think Ryan's good. I think he's a threat. I think he would beat Javante Tank. A lot of people think I'm crazy for that. I think Tank could beat him. I think that's a 50-50 fight. I think skill-wise, size-wise, and punching power-wise, Ryan is a good fighter. So I'm not like I don't like the little politics he's bringing right now.
He's got a good chin too.
So I think, I think he's got a good camp. I mean, he's probably over there with the allegedly tacos too. But so I'm not. I do think Ryan's good though. So don't get me wrong on that. But I agree with you, Charles. I can see that that fight happening too. I want to see Lomachenko get the fight if I had a perfect fight.
Mm. Well, one other thing in reference to Ryan's next opponent, I'm not sure if you guys are aware.
I don't know nothing.
Okay, he is solid, but more importantly than that, he is signed to Lou DiBella.
Ah. Oh, there we go. Ooh.
So he is signed to Lou DiBella.
I see where you're going.
It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I see what you're doing there. Yeah. I can see that. Wow.
And then, I mean, so I think, you know, I don't know what the clock is ticking on Haney and Lomachenko to get this fight signed, whichever one, you know, Tank for whatever reason is not
of course.
moving forward to fighting Kambosos. I think he should, but whatever. It's Lomachenko and Haney's to lose right now. If neither or one, I think I would estimate they got about 2.5, 3 weeks left. One of them needs to secure the fight. If neither one of them does, I think Kambosos is going to say, forget them, have some type of optional homecoming fight. It won't be in the 80,000 seat stadium, but maybe a 20,000 seat arena or something in Australia. Have a homecoming and build it up to fight Ryan in September. And that's a safer route for him. I think he would make just as much money, maybe more money, because it would be 2 fights for him instead of 1. So, you know, if I'm managing George Kambosos, that's what I'm doing. I'm not just putting my guy out there to get beat, you know, and get a boxing lessons from Lomachenko and or Haney to a lesser extent. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But as of right now, I mean, one of those guys can secure the fight. You know, Haney should agree to the terms. He wants the fight more than anybody does. He really, really wants the fight. So, I mean, I don't know if they need to teach him and learn from his predecessors that when you have that money fight in front of you, you got to do whatever it takes to secure the fight. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. But I mean, I'm a Ryan supporter. I knew Ryan when he was 13 years old, and he told me to my face he's going to be the biggest thing in boxing, and I laughed at him. I literally laughed in his face at the Blasco Theater in downtown Los Angeles as we sat and watched fights together. And, I mean, he's come a long way. And if he steps up and ends up getting this fight, you know, under the noses of all these other guys at 135 and ends up beating Kambosos,
it's going to cause an uproar.
I mean,
if he gets the fight.
You do realize if that happens, he ends up being more popular than Teofimo, more popular than Haney, and borderline Tank. Tank is very popular. But if he gets that fight and becomes undisputed lightweight champion of the world,
I think I would favor call me crazy, but I think I would favor Ryan to stop Kambosos. I think Ryan is a really big 35-pounder, and that left hook is just one of the nastiest left hooks I've seen right now in this era. I think it would be a
hits
good
harder though.
Yeah, but Ryan's but it's not just about how hard you hit, right? It's how Ryan throws it. You don't see it coming.
It's
You know
more
what I mean?
snap.
It's
Yeah.
a snap. Ryan, it has a snap left hook.
But
And
Kambosos has a great chin, man. He got hit hard and came back.
man, I don't even think it would be a chin shot. It's that temple. Ryan is taller than Cam. Cam is gonna have
Yeah.
to come up under Ryan, right?
Much taller.
Much taller. I think it would be a good fight. I think Cam has the better jab. Cam is kind of small, 35 pounder in my opinion. I didn't realize how small he was until I seen him versus Tio. Cam has a good jab and he has good combinations. I think he would be beating Ryan. I think he would be outworking Ryan, and a lot of people would be like, "Oh, he's beating him." I think Ryan would catch him, bro. Ryan just has that lightning quick left hook, and it's kind of like Wilder's right hand in the heavyweight division, man. That left hook is scary. And being
I think another thing that people fail to realize is Ryan Garcia's frame. He's perfect for that weight class, whereas like these other guys are eventually going to move up.
yeah, Ryan's
So
a
he
big
could
kid
be there
though.
for a while.
He's a
I
big
know, but
kid.
he's skinny though. Like he's got that. He's not like a thick guy. So I think he could stay at 135 for another 2-3 years.
So I assume you think Lomachenko's the best at 135, Julius.
Yeah, I still think so.
Adrian, who do you think
Yeah,
is the best?
I think if I had to like bet, I would definitely bet on Loma. No one beating him at 135. Betting wise,
Even Tank.
I think potential wise.
No, I think
Ryan
Lomachenko would
Garcia.
stop Tank.
Really?
I don't even.
Bro,
I don't consider Tank as an elite guy.
And I'm gonna say that too. I think Tank is elite, but he doesn't fight nobody. So
Okay.
I really don't put. I get what you're saying though, Adrian, but I don't even really put Tank in his conversations, bro. He's not. He's been a champion for how many years? Him and Jose Pedraza fought what? 2017 was that?
Yeah, I mean Isaac's.
We're
Cruz-
2022. Tank still hasn't fought nobody since 2017. I don't want to talk about Tank. You're the biggest name in the division, right? But you're not
I
fighting
don't know if
nobody.
he's the biggest name. I think Ryan
Tank-
Garcia is the biggest name.
It depends on which group of people, I guess, because they're both big in their own right.
Yeah.
Ryan definitely bigger on social media, and people, I guess, people are older in the 30s and 40s don't want to understand like the era of social media right now.
Yeah.
But it's the same reason Jake Paul and Logan Paul are so big. It's social media, it's YouTube. So Ryan is very popular, but Tank is I don't care for Tank, but he is popular too. But he's not fighting nobody. And from what I'm reading, he's fighting Rolly next. Tank is not in the conversation. But yes, if Tank and Lomachenko did fight this year, I think that's a terrible matchup. Did we all watch the same Cruz fight?
I mean, I was there. I was having a good time.
So I
watched
think
some of it.
Lomachenko's pressure and angles would be too much for Tank. And so right now, yes, if I had to make a ranked, unbiased list, you got to give Cam number 1 at 135. He's number 1. He has the belts. He beat the guy who beat the guy. But if it's just my personal opinion, if they fought, I got Lomachenko. But I have Cam rightfully ranked number 1. Like if I had to make a list.
So Lomachenko against Shakur, who are you taking?
Me and Ray just went at it the other day about this one.
What weight class?
135.
135.
135.
As of today, I still favor Loma to beat Shakur if they fought today. If they fought in May, I still have Lomachenko. The longer that fight takes, I got Shakur. It's tough, man. It's tough. I like Shakur a lot, man. I don't know if he has this. I feel like you have to be a pressure fighter to beat Lomachenko. I don't think you can outbox him. But I don't know, man. That's tough. I think either way, it's a chess match.
There's a big gap in experience.
Shakur, when it comes to the experience thing, I feel like he's one of those fighters with exception, man. He got so much amateur experience, so much Olympic
Yeah,
pedigree.
but it's different when you face these top guys.
He sparred Lomachenko a lot too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He feels very confident from his sparring sessions. And I'm not saying like sparring is everything. You know, I've sparred thousands of rounds myself, but it isn't everything. But Shakur is very confident.
It's very tough.
It's
That's
tough
a
because
fight.
Shakur is such a high-tech boxer. So when I just think style-wise, I feel like to beat Lomachenko, you have to be able to out-bully him and out-muscle him. You have to make Lomachenko uncomfortable. Just as of today, I'm not sure if Shakur can do that. You know what I mean?
I personally think Shakur is a better boxer, to be honest with you. I mean,
And
no bias. I think he's
so
a
you
better
think
boxer.
he can outbox Lomachenko?
I think Shakur can outbox Lomachenko. Yes.
Mm.
I think Lomachenko, when he first became pro, he was committed to being the best boxer he could.
Yeah.
And then he was convinced he still struggles to speak English, couldn't speak English, didn't understand the culture. And a lot of people got in his ear and said, look, dude, yeah, you're a technical fighter, but you're not entertaining anybody. And I mean, that happened with Crawford too, by the way. But I think Lomachenko has created some bad habits, to be honest with you. And I mean, if you look at the beginning of his professional career to now, he's much easier to hit now than he was when he first became a pro.
Well, he's way more aggressive.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I think Shakur would take advantage of that. And Shakur wouldn't stop him, but I think Shakur would beat him in a decision.
Yeah. I'm indifferent, to be honest with you. I like both guys. Shakur, to me, he's the future of boxing. He's the next Floyd Mayweather, the next Terrence Crawford. He's going to be that guy that just keeps moving up and just beats everybody. So
I said that before he turned pro. I'm very big on Shakur. That's why that matchup with Loma is so tough
I don't
for
see
me.
him. The only people I see him losing to is like a Loma. I don't see him losing to any of these like. I don't see any of these like pressure guys beating him.
No.
I think you need everything to work perfect just to pray and hope you win a bullshit decision versus Shakur.
I think the next up, though, I think everybody should keep their eyes on is Keyshawn Davis. I think everybody should keep their eyes on him as well. He's another special fighter. I think that's gonna move pretty quickly up the rankings. And he's a bigger puncher than Shakur, but he has a lot of high tech boxing skills as well. So I remember Keyshawn Davis. So I think keep a lookout on him.
Who you got to be on the top of the welterweight division when the year is up?
The end of this year. Man, who's gonna fight, man? So this division is probably 147 is probably the most loaded division, one of the most loaded divisions, and they don't really fight each other. In my opinion, like I would same thing with Cam and Loma. On paper, I have to rightfully so unbiasedly say Spence is number one because he holds the titles, like more titles. But I think Crawford is the best in the division. Terrence Crawford is the only fighter stopping, not only beating, but stopping the guys that he's supposed to stop and stopping people he's not supposed to stop. He wasn't supposed to stop a Sean. If he's not supposed to stop a Sean Porter, Keith didn't do it. Kell Brook didn't do it. Spence didn't do it. And all those fights, I mean, Kell Brook's fight was probably wider than the Spence and Thurman fight, but you can make an argument for him winning the Keith fight. I personally had Keith winning 7-5, but I can see an argument why people might have felt it was a draw because it was a very close fight. I thought Sean beat Spence. Honestly, I thought the first 8 rounds, Sean won like 6 of them. I thought he was outworking Spence. I didn't feel Spence looked good at all in that fight. Yeah. He couldn't get his jab going, and he was just kind of all over the place. I thought Sean didn't get the credit he deserved in that matchup. So then people want to say Sean is washed and then go and get stopped by Terrence Crawford, to me, is very impressive. So I think Crawford is number one. I love Keith Thurman, man. I've trained with Keith Thurman. I'm a big supporter and fan of Keith Thurman. In my opinion, he was supposed to. I don't hold nothing against him though, right? But in my opinion, he was supposed to stop Marios, right? He didn't. I watched the fight, the full 12 rounds. He looked amazing, right? But Terrence Crawford is a smaller man who's moved up to welterweight, right? And Keith likes to say that Terrence is too small. He said this before, like a couple years ago in an interview. He's the one stopping everybody. He stopped Jeff Horn, his first fight up there. Looking at it, I don't know if Keith would have stopped Jeff Horn. I don't know. It's just looking at you got guys like Mario going 12. Terrence Crawford is the only guy in the division who's stopping everybody and looking very he looks the best, man. He's in his third division, bro. Pound for pound, I still think Terrence Crawford is number one. I kind of slightly might put Usyk above him just because what Usyk just did to Joshua coming from cruiserweight. But I would say Crawford would be number one at the welterweight division. But who's going to fight, bro? It really depends who they fight. You got Ugas and Spence fighting. I think that's a 50-50 fight, maybe 60-40. I edge Spence because he is the better technical boxer. But I do see Ugas giving Spence trouble with his counter and punches and his body attack. I personally don't like the way that Spence reacts to punches when he does get hit. And I don't like the way he reacted versus Danny when Danny was going to his body. People like to bring up the Keith body stuff, but when we finally seen a fighter step to Spence and go to his body, Spence was backing up a lot versus Danny, and
Yeah.
Danny wasn't doing anything. Danny was so inactive in that fight. So we're gonna see versus Ugas, but if Spence has all 3 titles, I have to unbiasedly say he's ranked number 1, but I think Terrence Crawford is the best at welterweight.
Well, I mean, they're not doing that in the heavyweight division, but let's address that real quick. Terrence Crawford, because I think a lot of people think he's in a bad position. I personally think Terrence Crawford is in a great position, and I'll tell you why. Because of Ennis, Ortiz, and Thurman, as you mentioned.
Okay, yeah.
So with those guys around, clearly Errol Spence Jr. does not want to fight Ennis. That's pretty clear. I think everyone knows that. So let's say Errol Spence beats Ugas. I'll say on the record right now, he's not stopping Ugas. So if he wins, it's going to be a decision. So people are going to say, okay, you did what you were supposed to do. Now, who are you going to fight? You're going to fight Keith Thurman, Ennis, Ortiz, or Crawford. The world's going to want to see him fight Crawford. He's going to give his reasons for not fighting him. Whatever the latest PBC talking points are, he'll throw them out there. But here's the thing. So once it's official again that Spence isn't fighting Crawford, I think Crawford, even before he fights Ugas, even before Spence fights Ugas, I think Crawford can seriously look at these other guys. I'm sure he can scout Virgil Ortiz's next fight, and if Ortiz looks really good, I think that's an entertaining, intriguing matchup, Crawford versus Ortiz. I think if the world keeps saying that people are ducking Ennis, to me, knowing Crawford's temperament, it makes sense for Crawford to fight Ennis this year and not next year or 2024 or 2020. It makes sense. Fight right now. Everybody's saying this is the guy. This is the guy that's going to be the next champ. This is the guy everybody's scared of. He's bigger than you. He's quicker than you. He's stronger than you. All these different things. I think that's a perfect fight for Crawford. Now, is he going to make $20 million? No. Is he going to make 15? No. Is he going to make 10? No, he isn't. But it's still a good fight for him. He can make $5, $6, maybe $7 million, depending on how much the boogeyman, reputation can be marketed. So I personally think Crawford is in a good situation right now. I don't think he has to do anything right now. I think he could sit back and take on who's left. That's what I think is going to happen. And I'm saying that to say he still has an opportunity to actually prove that he's the best welterweight in the world.
Hey, Charles, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I'm hearing rumors. I'm not saying these are my rumors. I'm hearing rumors that Crawford's going to sign with PBC. It's just a matter of time. What are the chances, in your opinion? I know what KP thinks. In your opinion, what are Terrence Crawford's chances of signing with PBC?
I would say 35-40%.
So then who do you think is the favorite as far as promoter goes to sign Terrence Crawford?
I mean, it really depends on who he fights. I don't think he's necessarily going to sign with the promoter. I think
PBC is not going to. They're not going to give him a fight with one of their guys if he's not. If they
don't get multiple fights, probably. But I mean, it depends who it is, though. For example, let's say PBC's guy is Spence Jr. So let's just say they were willing to throw an offer out there. So everybody believes that Crawford is holding on for 50-50. I can say it on oath, under oath, in a court of law. I know for a fact Terrence Crawford will take less than 50-50 against Errol Spence Jr. I know that for a fact.
But they're
Not
not.
an
They're not going to
opinion.
offer that. We all know they're not going to offer that fight.
Okay.
Wait, so you believe Terrence Crawford will take a 60-40 split?
100%
Okay.
guarantee. 100% guarantee. But do I believe that offer's coming? No, I don't believe the
Nah.
offer's coming.
There's not
So-
enough money. He won't take it. The PBC executive said in Bells, they're not going to give him an offer that he's going to take as, they're not going to give him an offer because they know he's not going to accept it.
They don't know what he will accept or not. But
They don't want the fight. They don't want to fight.
Yeah.
okay,
Listen,
but let's go on to your question. So if it's not Spence and he's fighting someone else at PBC, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, whomever, of course he would have to sign a 3-fight deal. And
Yeah.
would he be willing?
I think he signs with Matchroom, to be honest with you.
Right, but I'm saying if he's offered Thurman or Danny Garcia, if your question is, do I think he would sign with PBC in that situation? Yes, he would sign with
For
them.
Thurman and for DSG?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
he would definitely sign a contract with PBC for that. But what you just said is, if I had to bet if he's going to sign with the promoter, then I would say he would sign with Matchroom. If he signs with the promoter. I don't think he's gonna sign with the promoter. I think that he wants this freedom, at least for one fight. I think he's gonna find out. I mean, he signed with the manager, who a lot of people consider to be kind of ruthless and kind of shady. So I think he's gonna let his manager handle his next fight, and then. He shares the same manager with Josh Taylor, by the way. So I think he's going to allow the manager to get him one fight, no promotional contract, and then we'll see what happens. I mean, he's been called out. I mean, you got people who are teeny boppers on social media saying that Terrence Crawford can't sell tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And he has an opportunity to sit back. Don't be surprised if you see or hear a representative from Terrence Crawford speak to the numbers from Thurman Barrios, speak to the numbers from Spence Jr. versus Ugas, speak to Virgil Ortiz numbers when he fights out here in LA next month, speaks to Jaron Ennis's numbers. Don't be surprised, because the world has feasted, the boxing world, on Terrence Crawford can't sell, Terrence Crawford can't sell, Terrence Crawford can't sell. If they match the numbers up with the rest of those guys, it's not going to appear to be that way. So I think that's how he's going to start, in reference to getting some leverage. And then he's going to use the fact that some guys don't want to fight Ennis. And that's the fight I want to see. Just like I want to see Tank against some of these guys, I want to see Crawford against Ennis.
All right, Danny. You said you had something to say, bro?
Yeah.
Go, bro.
Just piggybacking on what you said about Crawford and Ennis. I'm not sure that Ennis is going to fight Crawford right now. I think he needs another fight before he fights Crawford. I think he is a great prospect, and well, actually, he's gone from the prospect round into the contender round. So with that, I think with Ennis and Crawford, I think that that would be a great fight, but I'm not sure that Ennis is ready at this particular point. I mean, I think he can do well against Crawford, but I would love to see him against the winner of Spence Ugas, and then the winner of that face Crawford. But
I think Ennis needs to climb up a little bit. I think he needs couple more fights before he takes on one of these big guys.
Exactly.
I think
don't
Boots.
even
Hold on.
think-
Boots has 22, 23 fights.
So
I think he's like 26 now.
name his last opponent. You probably can't.
Yeah,
I mean,
Thomas Delorme.
All right, he fought Delorme.
He fought
last.
Delorme, and he
I know,
fought the Russian.
I think he's got to
Lipness.
face like a DSG, a Thurman.
Danny.
before-
Thurman is a top name. That
I know.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Let him
And
fight Thurman.
Danny's not fighting Boots. They're both from Philadelphia. He's already said that. And Danny's supposedly going to 54. Let's stop bringing up Danny. Danny's not in the mix.
Danny's out of the question. Right?
Danny's not in the mix.
There's
I
plenty of
think
guys at 147 he could face.
who
That's
though?
not Spence or Ugas or Crawford.
Wait, so Danny, were you saying for Ennis to fight the winner of Spence Ugas or Crawford to fight the winner?
I would love to see either one, but I think the
Okay.
winner of Spence Ugas, because that's more feasible. I mean, we all know Spence is not going to fight Crawford. You know, he's going to find ways out of that fight. So maybe Spence fights the winner of not Spence. Maybe he fights the winner of Spence Ugas.
Keith
But
Thurman is back in the mix too, though. I remember that.
Yeah.
See, the thing about Keith though, Keith has named every top welterweight except for Terrence Crawford. You notice in the press conference, he was saying everybody. He wanted to fight everybody in their mama except for Terrence Crawford. That's we've seen that so many times.
Right. There's no motivation for Spence to fight Ennis when he has Thurman right there. Of course, he would choose Thurman over Ennis.
I think so.
Yeah. So that it brings us back to who's Ennis gonna fight. So, I mean, all I'm saying is, since Ennis is choosing to be marketed as the boogeyman, he's choosing that. He's the one that's saying none of the champions will fight me. All I'm saying is, if you got a champion with 3 belts and who says no, and the other champion raises his hand and says, "Hey, I'm over here. Come get this belt." What is Ennis going to do?
Right.
Is he going to let Virgil Ortiz get the fight instead?
Yeah.
Because Crawford Ortiz, that's intriguing as well, especially if Ortiz scores a knockout next month.
What about Ortiz versus Ennis? You know, 2 prospects, 2 undefeated fighters going against each other for the right to face maybe Crawford or maybe.
That almost never happens.
I don't see.
It doesn't.
I don't see Golden Boy choosing for Ortiz to fight Ennis over Crawford.
Yeah, you're right. I think his audio is up. But yeah, I don't see that happening too much. Honestly.
I would love to see Ennis fight Conor Benn in UK, 80,000 fans. That's the fight I want. If I was matchmaker, I don't see why that fight can't be made. I think it'll be an exciting fight. That's all I can say about that. I'm not going to pick a winner or make a prediction, but I could predict it being one of the biggest fights of the year.
Shoot, didn't Conor Benn call out Chris Eubank? Chris Eubank Jr.?
Yeah, you know what? Billy Joe actually called him out too. Said he wants a rematch.
Yeah. I mean,
good. I watched the Eubanks fight. I don't know if KP did.
I saw it.
I think Eubanks had one of the best. He had the best performance of his career.
He had a good performance, but I would say it was a great performance, a complete performance for him. But I think he could have. He said that he wanted the fight to go the distance against Liam Williams. He wanted to go the distance because he wanted to punish him. I think he did just a little bit too much showboating in that fight, and he maybe lost a couple rounds. I think he could have stopped him easy if he wanted. If he really wanted to stop him, he could have stopped him easy.
Roy Jones. It just goes to show you these UK guys, like, look how much better Eubanks looks with Roy Jones than he did, before. It's night and day. So, like, imagine Anthony Joshua with, like a legitimate trainer instead of whatever bullshit he's doing over there in the UK.
Yeah, he's got Robert McCracken right now, and I think he's bitten off more he's done all he can do for AJ at this point in his career.
Eubanks is a big name, man. I think people really need to put some respect on his name at 160. I think he's, I think he's one of the biggest attractions in that weight class.
Oh yeah, he's a top dog. He's a top dog. He's one of the top, if not, I think he's like top 5, if not top 10 in the middleweight division.
He's definitely top 5. If you follow any like UK boxing fans, they don't like him. Like they really don't like him. It's kind of
that's because he's an asshole.
And, like Thurman, like how PBC hates Thurman. It's the same thing. Like I don't get it. These guys just hate him.
He's a good fighter, man. I like his
Yeah.
dimensions. I like what he can do in the
And
ring.
just for the record, I think, and I'm only saying this because it's being recorded. I think Earl Spence moves up after the Ugas fight.
Yeah,
I
I
can see
agree.
that
My
happening.
personal opinion.
But then there's some monsters at 54 that he might have to deal with.
That's fine, but I think his days at one. If you look at his last fight, if you look days leading into the weight cut, like when he was cutting weight, he looked really bad, man.
Yeah, he did. He did. He did.
So
Then when you
and look
factor
at
in the car
Barrios,
accident
man.
and the
This
eye injury, that's a lot of stuff
yeah.
to go through, and I don't see him.
Look at this weekend when you move up a weight class, how great it is.
Yeah.
How much better you look, you know?
Right. Right.
Speaking
So
speaking
these
of the
tough weight
UK
cuts are
guys,
just
we forgot about one other welterweight, Connor Ben.
oh we mentioned
Yeah,
it.
we were just talking about him. He
Not
called out
sorry.
he called out Eubank.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like
I mean he's gonna stay at welterweight, but
yeah, he should.
that's like
but
those English guys are weird like that. I don't know. They
Can you guys hear me?
yeah, we hear you now.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben called out
Charles.
Chris Eubank.
Charles, these guys make fun of me. I think Connor Ben's the biggest name at 147, but
so what about so there you go right there. What if Crawford signs with Matchroom and gets the fight with Connor Ben, not this year, but gets the fight with Connor Ben down the road?
That's a good question. Can we say that Conor Ben is ready for him?
No, I said
Right
down
now?
the road. I mean,
Down the road. I mean, Crawford's what, 34 years old? He may not have too many fights
hey,
down the road left for him. You know?
I mean, if Matchroom threw out a 3-fight deal, and in that 3-fight deal they said the third fight is Connor Ben, and it's a large guarantee on the 3-fight deal. I mean, why not take it? Because the one thing is, with Matchroom aligned with DAZN, that still leaves the door open for an Ortiz fight as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, trust me, I wouldn't be begging Jaron Ennis to fight. I mean, I'm not crazy, but
Right.
I mean,
Right.
the dude is extremely talented. But
Facts.
I'm saying if it's ruled out, you can't get Spence Jr., you can't get Ennis, you can't get Ugas. Then the next person less. If Danny goes up to 54, then it's just Keith Thurman. If you can't get Keith, I guess Matchroom would be the way to go. I mean,
yeah, because like I said, Terrence Crawford, I think at this point in his career, he wants to get paid. And he feels like Top Rank has been doing him a disservice, as you know, with the whole situation going on with that. So I think he really wants that Spence fight, but it's the onus is on Spence to get that fight done. But
he's been getting paid though. He's been getting paid. Crawford's rich.
yeah, but he feels he should be getting. I mean, his pay-per-view buys are not an indication of what it should be.
If whatever he thinks is, he's wrong. If that's the case, he's been losing money for Top Rank, millions.
Yeah.
I mean,
He doesn't
did
deserve
say
to
that.
any more than what he's making.
I
He's overpaid,
don't
believe
know,
it or not.
Adrian. I got to disagree with you, Adrian, on that one.
I think here's yeah. I think what's going on. I think what's going on with Terrence Crawford is that he feels, for as a man of his stature, being whether you have him number 1 or number 2 pound for pound, he feels that he should be getting pound for pound money, and he feels that Top Rank hasn't been promoting him the same way they've been promoting a Lomachenko, for instance.
He has been getting paid
other
pound for
fighters.
pound money. He got paid like 5 million a fight.
Right.
Yeah, Crawford's rich,
he's
bro.
gotten pound for pound money. If considering what pound for pound money is today, I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
was 6-7 years ago? No,
No.
but this is what it is today. So
Right.
I don't think the issue he had with Top Rank is how much he was getting paid. I feel it was just the opportunity to become that superstar. And I mean, the fact of the matter is, I mean, if you look at the superstars aligned with Top Rank, Manny Pacquiao had a country behind him and was in a bunch of exciting fights, back and forth fights. with Juan Manuel Marquez and others.
Right.
So I think Terrence Crawford, one issue with boxing, and we'll see if it happens to Shakur Stevenson, sometimes you can be too good. And he's not been involved at welterweight in a fight that is a back and forth fight like Spence Porter was, or Thurman Porter, or those type of fights. So,
Right.
and if you look at all the successful boxers in history, they all were involved in some type of back and forth or close fight or thrilling fight, or you wondered who is going to get the decision. Terrence Crawford hasn't been in a fight like that yet. And he might never get into a fight like that.
Probably not. I mean, who's really out there for him to fight at 147? Like,
I think
besides
Keith
Lucas.
is a tougher fight for Bud than you guys would consider, honestly.
But will he
I
get
agree
the
with
fight?
He hasn't called Crawford out though. That's
Well,
the
no,
thing.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
called
I
out
mean,
everybody
he would
but
have to
Crawford.
fight him, but I just said, like, if anybody, I do personally think Keith and Bud, if they did get in the ring, would be a lot closer fight.
Oh, wait, real quick, KP. Keith Thurman spent like 3 minutes addressing Crawford in his post-fight interview. If you haven't, I'll send you the link. He did mention
He did.
3 minutes. He spoke about him. So he says he works. He picked up his PBC chain. He said, "This is my promoter." He said, "If that's what he said." I'll send you the video. It's not like I'm not lying. I'm trying to quote him as best as I can, but there's a 3 minute segment he spent on talking about. Yes, he said I would fight Crawford. He said I only want to fight champions, and he doubled down on it. So
Okay.
Well, okay. So Spence and Ugas is slated to be in April, supposedly, and the April dates are being, taken up really quickly, as you see.
Mm-hmm.
So that might even get pushed to May.
Yeah, I was just
but
about to say that might get pushed back.
it might get pushed to May. So those are where the belts are. So there is only one other person that has a belt at 147.
Right.
So if Thurman wants to make his fight and he wants it to be a championship fight, he only has one guy.
Yeah.
As of right now. I mean, if he wants to wait it out for Spence Ugas and then play that game, I mean, and I'm saying the game he would be the one that was being played, because if Spence wins, I don't know. So we'll see. But if you say Thurman is interested in the Crawford fight, I mean, why isn't Thurman telling his people to make an
There
offer?
you go.
he just
No,
he
yeah.
just
No, I
fought
think
Saturday.
Thurman wants Spence. I think Thurman wants Spence. I don't think
Okay.
he's in any rush to get in the ring with Crawford.
Nah.
I'm
nah.
just saying, like, if they did fight, I do think style-wise, it would be a very competitive fight. Keith does have a lot of good attributes: punching power, speed. He. I know you didn't watch the fight, Charles,
Right.
but he looked good, man. For 3 years coming off the layoff, Mario's took a lot of punishment, bro. I don't know how that kid took so much punches like that. Keith looked very aggressive. He looked stronger than ever, like his body physically. Like, I've never seen Keith look like that. I think that him and Terrence Crawford style wise would be a very explosive fight. I don't see either guy running around from each other. I think they would meet in the middle of the ring and kind of mix it up.
So if Spence wins and Spence gives Thurman the F finger, then are you saying that Thurman is then, since Crawford be the only one still
I
standing?
just read that Spence came out and said that Keith needs to fight Boots or Ortiz to deserve a fight with him. So I don't think Spence. I personally, this is my personal opinion. We're gonna have to close this up shortly because my phone is getting there. But I don't think Spence cares to fight Keith or Bud. My personal opinion. So I do think he's gonna give that middle finger to
Yeah, he definitely gonna
Keith,
get the middle
and
finger.
it's gonna be on Terrence Crawford and Thurman to make that fight happen.
Definitely.
I think Terrence Crawford fight anybody. So I guess it's on Keith.
All right.
I think if you look at the timing of how everyone's fighting, Bud Crawford a once-a-year fighter? Like like he's gonna have to sign some sort of fight soon, because unless what is he just gonna wait till like September, maybe like October, like.
I mean, we're in February. Come on, man.
Yeah, relax.
Okay. So, but everyone has a name attached. So
we're in February, right? But
Yes, we're in
Thurman doesn't
February.
have a
When's the
name
last time
attached.
that he fought in November? No,
Thurman has a name attached, so we'll see.
no. Thurman just fought. I'm saying Crawford. Crawford, he's only fought once a year for the last 3 years.
Okay, wait. When's the last time Spence fought?
Exactly.
Yeah, but Spence
Exactly.
is gonna. He
No, I
has a
get
fight
what
lined
Adrian's
up.
saying. He's saying that Spence has an opponent already. Is what he's saying.
No,
Oh,
Spence
okay.
has a fight lined up.
But there's no. What is Crawford rushing for? Crawford is a family man. Crawford's out fishing probably right now.
So
Probably at a
I
place that
just
looks
want
He's
you to be
similar
fishing for
to
clear.
this.
Spence.
You're cool with Crawford being a once a year fighter.
It doesn't. I don't have any say so in it.
Okay.
I mean, if it was up to me, he'd be fighting 4 times a year.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but the point I'm trying to make is Crawford's too good to just sit and wait.
Yeah, I agree. His
doesn't
That's
have
the
the
point
years
I'm
is
future.
making.
already being wasted.
He has
Yeah,
to sit and wait.
he's already wasting years of like valuable time where he could be fighting. I think with Thurman's probably the best available opponent, which means of all the opponents that aren't tied in with like another fight, like Spence and Ugas, they have their own, thing. I would rank Thurman as a higher competitor than Boots, even though I think Boots is better,
Yeah.
like skill wise. But I'm saying as far as an opponent goes,
Yeah.
if you factor
Let
in
me-
everything, I
Hey,
think Thurman is
Julie-
the best available opponent.
Julius, let me get this in real fast
Go ahead.
because it applies to what is just being said, and it goes back to Top Rank and PBC. I just want you guys to know that Terrence Crawford is a witness with certain things that happened with Manny Pacquiao, and not just the fact that he tried to fight Manny Pacquiao and Top Rank didn't make that happen, but he also is aware that Manny Pacquiao was promised a rematch with Floyd Mayweather Jr. by Al Heyman,
Mhm.
which enticed Manny Pacquiao to go to PBC to begin with.
Mhm.
So Terrence Crawford does not trust Al Heyman, PBC, or any of that. Now, if they get him Keith Thurman, sure, of course he'll jump at that opportunity. But I don't see them giving him anybody like that.
Nah.
They'll probably find somebody to pull somebody out of their back pocket and say, "Here you go, fight this guy. We'll put you on."
Fight Barrios.
Come on.
Listen, if you put your PBC hat on, that would be someone that they would want Crawford to fight.
and
I don't know what he has to gain from that fight though, because Barrios, he's not really nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Yeah,
Because
it just goes to show you how bullshit boxing is.
right, he has
Right.
to gain the carrot to, we'll get you the Spence fight eventually. That never happened.
If he signs
probably-
a 3-fight, if Crawford signs a 3-fight deal with PBC, they'll give him Thurman for sure.
Yeah, they will.
The first
They
fight
won't give
will
him
be Thurman.
Spence. They won't give him Spence.
Yeah.
I guarantee that.
Spence won't give himself up. So,
Right.
I don't think Spence.
All right, hold on,
Spence,
fellas.
I mean,
Did you have anything else to drop on there, Charles? My phone.
All right, fellas. No,
At
I'm just
2%.
saying that Top Rank, they're rejuvenated. Bob Arum at 90 years old, I don't like some of the things he says and does, but they're trying to take over boxing once again in 2022. So just pay attention to some of the moves that Top Rank makes. Pay attention to some more shady shit coming from Tyson Fury
Facts.
in the next week or two.
Tyson's
They're
a
trying
snake,
to take
yo.
over.
All right, fellas. It was a good talk. Let's get another chat this weekend.
For sure.
All right, man. Good talking to you guys, bro.
You got it, guys.
All right,
right,
bro.
fellas.
Have a good night,
All right.
guys.
All right, bro.
All right.